Hello and welcome to life life clarification with Natasha. And sorry here, I'm kind of do this here. There we go. Had to readjust my cameras here because I'm live on Instagram and I'm live on YouTube and Twitter and uh, Facebook. So welcome everyone. And I'm grateful that you're here. So I am here every Wednesday doing life clarifications with Natasha. I am a medium. I'm intuitive. I am one that helps people go through so much in their life, including myself, because of the fact that, I go through my own things as everybody else does. And so with that's where I've kind of learned how to negotiate a lot of these things that people go through is by observing myself. And I observe myself through watching how I went through my past lives, how I am going through this lifetime, how I interact with others going through their lifetime. Now, one thing that I do that I so hold myself with good integrity about is that I do this without any judgment because of the fact that I was human once. I am human today. I am human tomorrow also. And so is everybody else. So why should I judge? Because we all have to make decisions while we're doing something. And sometimes we're not always proud of them. And a lot of times we come up with emotions that really we're not proud of. And when we're going through those types of things and dealing with shame, dealing with a lot of different things, that it's amazing how those wonderful little scenarios sneak up on us. So today my intention for the show is how do we take care of ourselves? And I know that lately I've been going through some stuff that my body is, it just feels like it's hard to shake something. It's hard to shake something. And I know that part of it is that I've been negotiating with migraines lately, and I'm hoping and praying that let me clear my third eye, that I am on some of the learning of why those are happening, right? Because two of them really hit me. Two sessions of them really hit me at certain times, and I know part of it was the new moon with the eclipse. That was a doozy. Well, at the same time I was negotiating through some pretty thick grief, and so sometimes when you're dealing with something that the body just stuffs up, clogs up, stuffs up, like your nose wants to stuff up. um, you get clogged up, you get all these scenarios that happen. And when we're going through those different scenarios of stress and negotiation, that our body ends up saying, me, I'm important too, please. I'm important too. And, when we're talking about our body, it doesn't always sound like that. Sometimes it screams and yells, why aren't you paying attention to me? Right. And so, with that, many a times going through our life and managing our life, that we forget that our bodies are part of this dance that we're going through. It's one of those things. And like I was talking to someone yesterday saying that my ears are ringing a lot. Well, that could be the neck being out. My dad was a chiropractor, so it's chiropractic is one of those scenarios that I go to a lot. But you have to go to someone who's good and who cares and has good integrity. Or it could be that the sinus area could be a little bit clogged up, which is sitting on the eardrums, which is making a little bit of a ringing, right? And this person I know said that they had a sore throat a couple days before, and so their body could be not going through a full cold, but it could have some scenarios of a little bit of logistics of cold. Like for me, I don't feel like that I really have a cold, but the thing is that hi there on Instagram, that hi on Instagram, that it's not necessarily that we have colds all the time, but we have a form of it, and that is part of the body. Thank you. uh I appreciate that so much, that as we're going through life, that sometimes our immune system can work really well. Like for me, I can say I've had flu maybe twice in my life because I have such a good immune system. So for me, that I could get a cold, but it's not necessarily the cold like everybody else. I may just get the sniffles. I have to stay away from dairy and all that kind of stuff. But my ears might get a little bit clogged up, and yeah, it's just one of the scenarios. But taking care of ourselves is one of the biggest things to do. And many of us have jobs that are too heavy on us, or we keep going and we keep going. And, just like for me, that, my husband, who I, tell him constantly that, he works, 12-hour days, 10-hour days, and then he goes and plays golf on the weekend, but he takes a nap when he comes home, and I tell him good for him, because of the fact that that's his way of recharging his battery. And we all need some time to recharge our battery. If we don't, that's where major illness comes in. And I can tell you that have I have had many scenarios where life has gone on, and we've all had these different scenarios. So no one knows more than our bodies on how to negotiate through some of this. Second, something popped up on my computer here, and I'm trying um, to get it. There we go. uh, get it to where it's not necessarily being where I'm at. There we go. So going forward in our lives and managing our life, that if we don't listen to the whispers, that's when things get a little bit louder. That's when things get a little bit louder. And going through our life and managing our life, that many times, we have these moments, that we trip and fall and our knee hurts, but yet we don't stop long enough to let it heal, because of the fact that, well, we got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, and I got to do that. And so many of us are perfectionists, that we don't take care of it. We don't take care of the beginning of the story to help us get through to the end of the story. Right? And knowing that no matter where we're at and where we're going in our life, that it's okay to take care of ourselves. And, there's been, I listen to a lot of people who struggle with perfectionism, right? Who struggle with that perfectionism. And in my intuitive work that I do, and in my practice that I do, that I help people to find a healthy I scenario. I help them find the healthy I scenario, because of the fact that sometimes we want to stop, but yet there's a part of our brain that says, no, no, don't stop. Don't stop and take care of you. That's not what I was taught. I was taught to keep moving. I was taught to be bullish in my life. And I'm not saying bullish in the sense of that we bull other people over, but we bull ourselves over because we don't slow down enough. And, and then there's that scenario where, thank you for saying that. Yeah, yes, that's very true. So, as we're going through life, now we have the other side of that story, though, that if we don't listen to our bodies and that kind of thing, or we don't slow down enough, that's where we start getting into coming home and, oh, I'm so tired. I need a glass of wine. right? Which is, I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying though that many times when we are out of balance in one part of our life, we become out of balance in another part. So now I can tell you a personal story about me is that after my mom passed away of Lou Gehrig's disease, and then 3 years later, my uncle had Lou Gehrig's disease, that I felt, and taking being a mom and a wife of an alcoholic, that I ended up not taking care of me, right? Felt very behind um, very behind life, right? So I got passive aggressive about things and I started spending more money than I had. And I don't smoke, drink, I don't do a lot of those things, but the addiction I had was spending a little bit of money, and I had a little bit of inheritance that I could do that. So with that sometimes when we're not taking care of ourselves here, it comes out in other places. And so we got to be careful about that. Now, there is a way of finding a healthy eye. A healthy eye would be something like, oh, let me give you an example. That as we're going forward, and okay, I'll give you one. Okay. Going through all the stress that I went through in my earlier lifetime, that my adrenal glands got really run over, right? And I've been with my migraine, my digestive system got off because I'm really hypersensitive about medications, and I'm very hypersensitive, and so things got a little bit off, and I haven't been able to take my adrenal medicine like I usually do. Well, that's almost like my iron being gone, right? So I'm very tired. Lethargic a little bit. And so what I'm doing is that I am taking care of me because of the fact that I know that, let's say if I'm walking around, walking and walking and walking and walking and walking, I'm noticing myself getting tireder and tireder and tireder, right? Well, my body is telling me my battery isn't fully charged. It's a thing. It's called a thing. So what I'm doing is that when I have those few minutes, I sit down, make sure I drink a little bit of water, make sure I eat something so that my body is recouping at least a little bit. So then I can build up my scenario again, build up my immune system, build up my reserve energy field, I'm going to call it, because we all need to take care of, and that's a healthy eye. Now, an unhealthy eye might look like, well, I have to be at my job. I have to keep going. I can't stop. I don't know where I'm going to be able to stop. I don't know where I'm going to eat. I can tell you, taking care of you sometimes can take you 2 minutes. And I know that we all deserve 2 minutes. We all deserve 2 minutes. And I know sometimes scenarios happen where we don't have 2 minutes, and there are days like that. But that doesn't mean, though, the next moment that we get it, we can't take it. And going forward in life, that this is the difference between us living until we're healthy later life, or we're unhealthy later in life. Because I can tell you, how we treat our body when we're younger is how we're going to feel when we're older. Right? And knowing that my parents passed away of colon cancer and lung cancer and Lou Gehrig's disease, that and they were all in their 50s when they did that, that me going through this myself and in my 50s, that I'm learning how to treat my body better. There again is this scenario here. Sorry. So with that, sorry, I have a dairy thing, and I had a little bit of dairy and it's getting in my throat. There we go. Sorry about that. So here again is taking care of me, right? So going forward, now, did you notice that I stopped? Because my body said, don't keep talking. Don't keep talking. Take care of you for a second. And I did, because I felt myself needing to swallow, right? So there is a prime example of how that was a healthy eye. Did I need to take it a long time to do that? No. Did I need to go into the drama trauma of it? No, that's an unhealthy eye going into the drama trauma of it. I sprinkled water on my face. That going forward is part of the dance of life. Yet at the same time, though, we can push the pause button. We can push the pause button. And, I know that we're coming out of COVID, right? And this COVID scenario is, I know for me, I work in the morning in an elementary school system, and the petri dish of life is one that you could sure tell that a lot of people's immune systems went south, right? Went really south. Well, I can tell you that my immune system didn't go as south as a lot of people's because of the fact that I knew that this scenario was going to come on intuitively, that we were going to have a lot of us who were going to struggle with our immune systems because of the fact that we've been wearing masks, we've been in our own homes in our own germ field, right? Well, I would go outside and play in the dirt, do some weeding. I would be around people that I trusted or I interacted with. And that's the thing is that being in the same room, you can be a little bit apart like we are supposed to. Yet at the same time, though, that's healthy trying to build up your immune system, right? So doing those little things to help us build up our immune system makes a difference. Now, I have been one since way before COVID that I would use a paper towel at the gas station because how many people touch that thing? Ugh. Talk about they're just as dirty as the door job knives. And so for me, I would use something to open up the doors and that kind of stuff. So I've always had this interaction with respecting scenarios and yet finding grace with them. And many of us struggle with having the understanding of how not to be so up and down, to find the rhythm of working with things, right? And as we're working with life and going forward with life, it is about trusting and listening to the body. Now, part of a healthy eye is being respectful of you. So, okay, I'll give you an example. For 2 days, I was down with a pretty good migraine. Full moon, the new moon, and the eclipse, and I think it was something I ate too. Kind of all came together at the right time, wrong moment for my head, and so there was a migraine. Right. Well, Saturday I did 2 house blessings slash clearings, and I had the energy to do that. Okay, because I took care of myself for 2 days. Well, then on Sunday, I had sat down and I rested because I knew my body was still challenged, I'm going to call it, from Thursday and Friday's migraine. But I always get energy when I do a spiritual work. Always. And I love helping people through with private sessions, helping them doing the love for themselves, finding we all have something that's carrying through, but helping move that forward, right? And then on Sunday, I took my moment of rest. Now, I did laundry, I did little things, but I did it in a rhythm. I didn't do it where I'm going to get all my work done at the beginning and then rest. No, I took time to do everything. If I needed to sit, I sat. And if I didn't, I didn't. And so going through that way, finding joyfulness is something that is a good reason to find a healthy eye too. A lot of us are not doing well with finding joyful things in our lives. We do things because we have to. Now, some of the things that I like to do, like for me, doing private sessions with someone, that is my joyfulness. I find joy in that. Yet, as I'm getting busier, I'm finding that I'm having to I want to find another joyfulness that isn't part of a scenario of work. And dancing to me is part of that joyfulness. And I want to remember to turn on music. And I have not. Well, part of me needs to rest my body just for probably another day or two, but dancing. Oh, but if I dance, I build up my stamina, right? Which makes me want to eat, which works my digestive system, because if you massage your organs, a lot of us don't do our work to move our bodies enough, and our organs are getting sluggish. And when I'm not necessarily a medical intuitive, yet at the same time, I do see inner bodies. And sometimes I see, like right now, my liver is pretty sluggish. And so I've been working on healing her because of the fact that when my adrenals got so overtaxed, my gallbladder and liver started to complain a little bit. They had a right to, right? So negotiating our life is part of the wisdom. Negotiating is part of the wisdom. And taking care of our bodies is what's the scenario. And I know a lot of us are struggling with weight. A lot of us are struggling with a lot of the different life applications. Well, how many of us are still eating food that our bodies are telling us, please stop? Please stop. Like I was talking with someone the other day, and she's, yeah, every time I get off dairy, I lose weight because I'm less puffy. But habits, taste buds, the mind want to always sabotage that, right? They like to sabotage that. And the way that I stop myself from eating things that my body doesn't like is I see the end result. I don't want to deal with that, right? I don't want to deal with it. And so, like today, I had a little bit of leftover taco salad, and I had a little bit of good rice and turkey meat and a little bit of lettuce. And instead of using my salad dressing that has a little dairy in it, I put honey on it, and I use really good honey. I use local honey that still very much crystallizes. And so I had honey on my taco salad, and actually it tasted pretty good. And guess what? I'm not all clogged up because I listened. I listened to my body saying, no dairy right now, please. No dairy. And that is part of the balance that we can do to support ourselves. Nobody can be perfect at this, right? Because I can tell you that since my digestive system is not as happy, I have not been eating the sugars. Well, I've been eating peanut butter and honey, but I've been not eating like the cookies or that kind of thing, and I can tell you that I'm craving them. But I can also tell you that my body's feeling a whole lot better because I'm not eating them. So taking care, a healthy eye. Take care of the healthy eye. Now, I know some people who are younger, I got a good body. I don't have to worry about that. But as we get a little older, our bodies start saying, yeah. And I can tell you that even the young people are struggling with eating foods that are no longer good for them. I know a lot of people have had to go on gluten-free diets, and I'm grateful that I'm not there because I've had to take myself off of pretty much a lot of other things. So with that going forward is part of that dance. And I love my body. I love my body. No matter what it's doing, I'm loving my body. And a lot of us don't say that to our bodies. What do we say? It's like we have these scenarios that are going on, and the more we love our body, the more it says it loves us. When was the last time you thanked your feet for carrying you through the day, right? How was the last time we thanked our feet for carrying us through our day? When was the last time we thanked our heart for beating without even being told to? When was the last time we thanked our hand for being able to grab onto a pencil and write? We take things for granted. And is that a healthy eye? Yeah, sometimes because we get too busy in life. But really, in a way, it's not. Because it's that circling back around to being able to say thank you. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this life. Right? Thank you for this love. Thank you for this life. And having a healthy I am important. Like I tell the kids at school, that's why I's are capitalized when they stand alone. I am important and I am capitalized. But a lot of us forget that we are important enough to take care of us. Important to take care of us. And it's called being honest. And when we need to have a conversation with somebody, like I had a conversation with my husband about how, right now food's not enthusiastic with me. I'm one that I can eat celery and peanut butter for 3 days straight. I don't care. I'm not a foodie. He is. I want to honor him. Yet at the same time, like I told him, like last night, I could not cook dinner. He cooked himself a pretty damn good looking sandwich. I called it a Dagwood. Yeah. And so, going through life, but I had to be a little bit healthy a little bit selfish last night. And he actually got the rewards from it because he said he loved his food. I couldn't have cooked that for him. There's no way. Right? So the healthy I has a good balance, but it was the communication. I didn't say, I didn't want to cook dinner tonight. I didn't want to create a fight. I just said, babe, I'm not in it tonight. And I have another meeting to go to. He says, okay. Because we've had a pre-conversation about knowing that it's finding the rhythm of it. It's finding the balance of it. So with that, going forward in life is part of the balance. Going forward is part of the balance. And taking care of us in a healthy way. Now, I'm going to tell you that there's always a shadow to every story, right? There's a shadow to every story. And some of this is that we're talking about a lot of people being really selfish right now. Being really selfish. And that's not a healthy I. A healthy I is about a healthy we. And when we're too selfish and not doing the work that we need to do to help other people out and negotiating, a lot of times we end up being in scenarios that can cause problems later. And I can tell you when we are out of balance because we're selfish and it's always about us, we want everybody else to do the work for us. We always point the blame at somebody else. We're always wanting it to be about me, right? There's the shadow effect. And we all have moments when we're like that. Tag me too, but there's that fine line between saying, I know that I sat around yesterday. Today's my day to get a little bit more busy, right? So with that going through life and managing our life, that looking at, are we too selfish? That's a question. Because a lot of people are starting to think that they're entitled without doing any work. Entitled without doing any work. I have a very wonderful family member, and and young, and saying, "Why? I don't know why I'm not the manager yet." And I looked at him, going, how long you been at the job? 3 months. How old are you? And I went, it's called time. They need to get to know you. It's called time. Oh, so he was feeling entitled because he thought he was doing better than he actually was. And he wonderfully has come and stayed with us for a little while to get a different perspective in life, probably, right? So, love the kid, love the kid, love the kid. I love to help people grow. I love to help people grow and change and shift into a more rhythmic life, because life is important, and then we do it. So taking care of us. Now, my husband, who, when he got sober, played golf every Saturday and Sunday, sometimes 18 holes, or not 18. He played an extra 9 after 18. There we go. That's the language I wanted to use. And so with that he was gone a lot. Well, he was trying to get healthy in the mind, right? And that was okay for a while. But then he started noticing that between work and golf, that he wasn't spending any time at home. And that was becoming out of balance. So there again was his healthy eye was for a little while, and I agreed to it because of the fact that he needed to get healthy. Yet at the same time, though, when it started getting out of balance and things started not doing as well here at home, that there was a fine line between being able to get what needed to be done. And there's, again, we always have to do something we don't want to do. We have to do things that we need to do, and then we do things that we like to do. And sometimes we can do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I know for me, if I spend a few minutes in the morning, 10 minutes laying in bed, being a little bit selfish, it helps my body and I to wake up better so that I can move forward in the rest of my day. Giving me my 10 minutes gives me 24 hours. Not really, but in metaphorical sense. So it's okay to be a little selfish to be able to grow, to do the better work. And that's the thing, that we all deserve to have something. We all deserve to have something, right? And knowing that we all have those things to do, that's the wisdom. So with that, knowing that no matter where we're at and what we're doing, it's okay. It's okay to find the rhythm. It's okay to find the rhythm. It's okay to find the rhythm. And no matter where you're at in your life, that I give you permission to be a little selfish once in a while. Not a whole lot, but a little selfish. Take care of you. Go to bed a little earlier because it's better for your health. Wake up a little earlier because it's better for your health. Wake up a little bit later if it's a little bit healthier for yourself. There's some mornings, if I don't read in bed for 20 minutes, half hour on a weekend, I don't feel so responsive to life, right? Know that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, feel blessed, because the fact that there's always something to love, including our bodies, right? There's always something to feel good about. And there's always ways to find joy, because the fact that we all deserve to do something a little joyful. And take care of you while you're doing it. Take care of you while you're doing it. So, with that, I think it's time to pull some cards. So I'm going to pull you on Instagram. if you would like a card pulled for you, please let me know. I do oracle cards, and these oracle cards are Wisdom of the Avalon. I love these because they have different scenarios, and you don't have to tell me your question. You just have to put the intention out there. Okay? But I'm going to do one for, I think I'm going to do also a Path of the Soul. So I'm going to pull a card for the greater good of the agenda here. So as I do the cards here, woo! That one bounced out. Oh, birth and rebirth. Oh yes. Oh yes. We just had that eclipse in the new moon. Oh, that's setting us up for a birth to rebirth. Birth to rebirth. And that's the thing is we all are starting into this new idea, this new concept of life, right? But many of us, I love this card because it is about perception, right? And this birth to rebirth. Well, many of us get ideas. We get ideas about something. We give birth to a new idea, right? But we stop on that hyphen right there. Stop on the hyphen right there. And that hyphen to the next stage in our life, and that hyphen can get a little wobbly. So please trust the process of moving forward. So let me read on that. 50. So birth to rebirth. Okay. Inspiration and new life are here. Rejoice, for spring is in the air, and you're beginning again. This marker bodes well for any new project, new endeavor, relationship, or idea to take shape to birth into the world. It also reminds you that anything old or painful can be brought forth and transformed by a new creative perspective. This marker reminds you that the process leading up to a birth can be cumbersome, restrictive, painful, never ending. Yet, the final shift being an extraordinary gift of new life. A new vision born of surrender and total release. Know that you've come far and are at a place to celebrate your ideas and all things anew. This card asks you align yourself with a mystery of spirit, a true source of creational energy and power. None of us are inspired without a subliminal or a profound influence of the soul's longing and urging and divine. Remember to pray. Make me the channel of divine creativity. Use me as an instrument of higher will. Watch the miracles unfold. Watch the miracles unfold. Okay. Whoop. There's another one. So this one here. Now this card can scare people. But I can tell you, we just had the rebirth process. This one's the death card. This one's not necessarily meaning, death means endings. Endings, endings, endings. And so without having endings, we cannot have the birth to rebirth process, right? But we're in the process of having a lot of things shift. And I know with me, with my digestive system kind of going through a little bit of a scenario here, that it's cleaning out some of the old belief systems that it has of my digesting, of my digestive mind, my digestive being. And so I'm asking it to clear through because I was fine not even a week ago. And I know that some people are having problems with a tummy flu. And so I could have just a teensy bits of it, type of thing. Yeah, it's a process. So the death process, don't be scared of it. Every ending is a new beginning. Every time I see 9/11, 9 is the number of ends, with 11 being the magical new beginnings. So Every ending has to become, every ending leads to a new beginning. So 46. 46. This marker pertains to a time of transformation, a total change of attitude, the death of an old. Regardless of how death presents itself, it is a necessary aspect of all things. Always remember the phoenix that arises up out of its own ashes and soars in the wind, renewed, full of life. Death is a winter of things, part of the cycle of life. When you receive this marker, you are reminded that all things have their season. Take courage for the surrounding of death in time. You will be blessed with extraordinary new life. Rejoice that for that which dies fortifies the new. Endings always point to a refreshing new beginning. And I'm telling you right now that I have felt the month of April and a little bit into summer here was going to be a interesting transition of people crossing over also, including animals. And my love goes to all. I know I've just lost my father-in-law not too long ago, and it's a process. It's a process, and I'm not done yet. So with that as we go through life. So if you're looking for help through your grief process, tag. I have an understanding of it that is beyond a lot of people's understanding, because I do see the other side of life. So with you, knowing that as we go forward, know that everything is in its greater timing. So now, Path of the Soul. These cards are amazing. These cards are amazing. So and this is a cards for all. These are the cards for all, not just for one person here. Woo! Okay, right there. That one right there. Ooh, 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 ooh. Not pretty. And it's actually 9. We're getting a lot of cards about 9 endings, rebirth, birth, and the endings thing. Isn't that beautiful? And look, it's almost like you're going into the vortex of something happening. And then it's kind of like going through, those movies that you see where you have to walk through the veil to get to the other side. Isn't that beautiful? It's really beautiful. So, number 9. Light within. You are awakening to your inner light and opening to new levels of spiritual understanding and awareness. Guides and teachers are working with you to assist you in your awakening. Support is coming in the human form as well. Those who are knowledgeable and experienced will be there to offer support and need. The main color is green in this card. Shows you that to know your own inner light is to know your own heart. Enjoy the experience, stay connected, and rest. The rest will happen naturally. So trust the process, right? Trust the process. Thank you all who came and watched. I am so grateful. And if you're on Twitter, and I do not get comments there, and I apologize. So if you wanted to go to my YouTube channel, you can, Natasha Venter. Please subscribe and like my stations that I'm on. And I do inspirational quotes during the week. And I am doing a video series just on my YouTube channel that is a little bit more personal. So blessings to you on your journey. Thank you all for watching. And I am here next Wednesday at 4 o'clock Pacific time on YouTube if I do not have a guest, or I mean on Instagram if I don't have a guest, and YouTube and Facebook if I do. And on Mondays, I am on with Regan Forston, who is a hypnotherapist with the Newton Institute, and we talk about life's general moments. Between his and my lives, we have a lot that we can interact with knowing about the other side of this world. Blessings to you. See you next week. Bye now.